concert is gonna provide help for more than my baby. It could provide help to a lot
Children's
of people in
Hospital.
Children's Hospital and other baby in the same condition. And I think it's very nice from them. I mean, it's something that touched my heart and touched our heart.
Totally, because we have a lot of support, similarly, but really we don't have a lot of support because Andres, he just retired from the Army 21 years, after serving 21 years, and we've been struggling on an Army pension, to go from living comfortably to a really, barely, what we could say, low income. I prayed many, many nights for this concert to happen. During this summer, we're always based around the concert, and I prayed that everything was going to go off without a hitch. It hasn't been easy.
If SKARD for Life movie become a success, as a dad, I would try to provide to my daughter the best I can, everything.
Coming. And the sunshine, and the sunshine, and the sunshine rising. And the morning, and the morning, and the morning coming. And the sunshine, and the sunshine, and the sunshine rising.
Well, I don't know how everything started, but I think everybody started from the love of bikes and the love of Harleys, and they wanted to, customize them, make them look cool, and it was all about the cool look type thing, right? And you'd have a fancier bike than the next guy. It was a 1967 Norton Atlas, and I customized it and made it all cool, crashed it, fixed it again, and that's where I started. Eddie's helmet is something out of this world. You know what? That's something that it's the same, similar to his bike. It's like something that's a little bit outrageous, but it suits him, right? Everybody a lot of people suit their stuff, and Eddie's got his helmet suits his bike. Well, it's a thing, I guess, that's been going on forever, right? Harley riders, motorcyclists, they always get hassled. If the Harley rider's riding down the road, or another guy in a Yamaha or something, the cops will probably pull out the Harley rider, right? It's just a way of life, right? You get used to getting stopped by the cops. They do a lot of stuff like, they trial by media, right? And and they, they sell papers. All the different newspapers put our pictures and the club insignia in there, and they like to do that. It sells papers. Hells Angels sells papers, right? It's, if you know some of the guys, it's not as it is in the paper. If you know anything about it, newspapers, and read about it, if you do the person involved in whatever it is, then you know the real story, right? Not some story that's made up of a paper. Because the more outrageous it is, the more they sell. I felt that it was coming from the heart and from Maddie, and it was a great thing to do, and wonderful thing, like something that, not a lot of people step up to the plate. It's good, and I hope I can help out in this. Well, I'm going to do what I can to help out the situation at hand, right, and try to advertise it and get the word out as best we can, because it's for a great cause for a young girl, right, 2.5-year-old girl, for a possible heart transplant. So, like everybody has children, a lot of people I know do. I have them myself, and that. So it's if you can help out somebody, that's just great. It comes from the heart.
I've been riding about 1968. We started in a club called the Gypsy Looters. In 1978, we went to Satan's Angels, and then Hell's Angels in 1983 to now. About 40 years almost. No, I was never a prospect. I was started the club, so I beat that. I was one of the guys to make those rules. So I was kind of lucky that way.
Well, there was a lot of fun rides, but a lot of times, like years ago, everybody used to have rigid frames, and you would, it's rigid frames, no shocks at all, and just bouncing around, and when you put on 400 or 500 miles a day, felt pretty tough, right? So we went across Canada one time, a bunch of us. It was a good time. Went out to where we stopped in Winnipeg, run the shit out of the bike, drag racing, and then street bikes, get back on them and rode home. Great time.
In 1970, I went to a rock concert, Strawberry Hill, and I was riding my bike through, and someone passed me a gallon of wine. I had a drink. They took a picture of it. I didn't know it at the time, and they came out and someone told me about 4 months later and showed me the picture and some cover of the Rolling Stones.
Why I ride is I just love the freedom. It's like when you're having a bad day or you're stressed out, just jump on that motorcycle, hit the highway, and just let the fresh air blow you. It feels great. It feels great. No worries. You're just cruising down the highway, not thinking of nothing, just enjoying yourself and putting a big smile on your face. And I love riding. If I had to ride 365 days a year, I will. We go on road trips, and sometimes they're a long road trip. We're kind of tired, but it kind of amuses us when we're on there because sometimes people break down in the pack, and they use kind of funny stuff just to get them going on the road. Like a shifter would fall off, and somebody used like a string or a vice grip on the shifter there just to hold it on to make it all the way through there. It's a lot of fun. We enjoy ourselves when we're on the road trip. A lot of laughs and giggles, and we're kind of like back in high school kind of thing, like 19 years old all over again, right? So it was actually fun times.
All that musically inclined, except for I did play the trumpet in high school.
Originally from New Zealand?
I was conceived there.
Okay.
I was conceived there, born here, and then went back. And my brother was born there.
Okay.
You ask, yeah.
When you're on these long rides, is there ever a call of nature that happens and you have to veer off from the rest of the...
Me and Rue one time were coming from Winnipeg, and we're catching up. We're a little bit behind, drinking a little bit too much. And we're going along, and I got diarrhea, so I pulled over on the side of the road, and it's all flat. There's these little wee twigs, And I'm stopped holding the twig, taking a shit, and he flags a bus down. They back up, and they're all looking out the window at me. I still haven't got even from him for that, but one day, you bugger. That was a whole bus. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, we ride in packs, and guys just ride together. They go bars and all over. And sometimes you just ride with the old lady. All different things. But riding in the pack is it's a feeling like unless you've done it, you just don't know, you know, the rumble of all the bikes and just, it's just a wild.
I used to do gong shows. I used to do a Ben and Nails thing. We did what we had to do to survive and just to make money to go on the next ride. Oh yeah. I was on the bed of nails, and there'd be 5 girls standing, and there'd be they'd also with a sledgehammer break a brick and a 2x10 on top of my chest, and I took training for that. I wouldn't want anybody to do it at home. It would fill the cabarets, and that every cabaret that I did. I even did the Cave one time, which used to be a legendary cabaret in Vancouver where Ike and Tina Turner played one time.
Media and that could label you as that, and I know that personally because of who I am, and as part of my life I get labeled because I'm a Hells Angel. When people look at me, they look at me as a Hells Angel. They don't look at me as a grandfather and a father and, you know, stuff like that. They don't see the stuff that we do for the toy runs and stuff like that.
Any kid with a disease needs help, obviously. You know, a heart disease, cancer, whatever it might be. As a dad myself, I mean, I'd look at my child and I would give anything. I'd die for my kid. So, you know, for other people's children, you got to kind of feel, you know, the pain of their parents. As a biker, I mean, I would do whatever I could in a biker community to help raise money for the little girl.
Yeah, so when I decided to do a benefit concert for my daughter, I got totally involved 100% right from the beginning. You know, I want to help him and to do what he wanted to do for me, right, and my daughter as much as I could. We had great time together. It was a very hard job to do, you know. There's a lot of things to do to make that happen, and we went through fun to hard time and some disappointment too. We were supposed to have the show in the Thunderbird Stadium August 22nd, and somehow we got turned down by. Well, you know, we could have more media involved in this thing, but it's been turned down as everything else. But you know, kind of, you know, it doesn't matter. We sold tickets, and this haven't happened even without the media.
It would be in everybody's best interest to help promote this, to help Briana, right?
Well, I think that we get back to them whatever way we can. We would do whatever. I was lucky enough to meet her today, and I think it's a very good cause. Yes, I hope she does well, and I hope we can do whatever we can do, and I know it will be a big turnout, and she will do well.
So the second time we got canceled, which was 6 days before the show at Cheers, you know, that was devastating, you know, because all the posters were done to have that show at Cheers. Everything was done for that. So, and we sold, prior to the concert, we sold many tickets for the Cheers, you know. So we were devastating. I couldn't even tell my wife at the time, the first time, because she would have been like tear down, you know. We would have to reimburse everybody, you know. She would have to go. She would have maybe to go to church and pray for that, you know. But anyway, you would have to reimburse a lot of people.
Stigma that goes along with the motorcyclists obviously has been carried through the decades from 1950s. Back in the 50s, they were the new bad boys with their rolled up bell-bottom jeans and their leather jackets. Well, that's followed us through the years, and it's time to let go of people. You know, you've got lawyers and doctors and dentists and police, politicians, blue collar workers, everybody rides a motorcycle nowadays. So the stigma that's attached to motorcycling is ridiculous and it should be forgotten. It's a new age, you know?
Well, history survivors. I've always worked on bikes. I bought my first Harley when I was 16. Worked on them ever since. I was a heavy-duty mechanic, and I had my son killed years back in '95, and he was killed on a work-related job, and I thought, if I'm going to go to work every day, I want to do something that I can remember him smiling all the time. He loved motorcycles, loved music, and that's why I did this.
Well, it broke my heart because I know it's hard to have a child if he's sick. I speak from my own experience. I lost my daughter a year ago, and it's really hard for me. So when I hear these children, they start living and they have problems in their life with the heart, which is very hard to, is one of the principal part in your body. It took me hard, so I did good donation for them, you know, and whoever support these people, I think they really appreciate that.
When I was down, Eddie came back to me, he looked at me and says, "Show must go on." And I just turned around and I looked at his eyes, and then I knew that nothing could stop us anymore, you know?
You know, it takes a big man to put all their time and effort into it, and they've done that, and they've shown that in the past. They've helped our charter out personally quite a bit, and yeah.
SKARD sings about freedom, you know, this and that, right? I mean, I haven't really heard much of their music, but what I have heard I like. It's, you know, good rock and music, you know, about bike riding and about being free and, you know, living life.
So from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to special thank the White Rock chapter first stood up for this cause, and then the rest of the biker society just blend in, and it happened. Not only biker society, but even everybody joined us, and I really thank you guys, everyone. So when the bike drive arrived, they decided to block us and check identities of everything. You know what I mean? This is bullshit. This is not about bikers. We're all bikers, but this is for my daughter Briana, you know. And people gathered together and to do a good cause. You know, there was nothing wrong in this event. Everything is so good, and you know, I don't understand why that kind of behavior happened. You know? And try to block us and stuff. You know, we even had our own helicopter, but not our own. But somebody was filming for the show, for the ride and everything. And, you know, we even been contact, I believe, to not to film or to get off the area and stuff. It breaks my heart, you know. Being serving Canada for 21 years, do I deserve that kind of thing? I don't think so. That's what I'm talking about. Bikers, you know, bikers from everywhere. You know, even I'll call it my brother because we've been in the army, maybe not at the same time, but he's a biker riding for the veterans from Edmonton. And when he heard about my story, you know, he rode from Edmonton right to Vancouver to support us and being there and drive over there, and you know, you guys have seen him in the film already, you know. And this guy, you know, now he's back in Afghanistan. He's a biker, and what? He would have a sick kid. Him too? He's gonna be turned down too? You know, that's my point. You know, it's not because you're a biker that you're a bad guy. You know, it blows my mind. People have mentality like that. You know, people like my friend is back in Afghanistan, a biker, and what?
SKARD's a real good band. You know, if you get an opportunity to go see them, go see them. They're really good. You won't be disappointed. Oh, those motorcycles are ugly. I wouldn't fucking have one of those. Big ugly guitar hanging off there. I'm just kidding. No, it's cool. It's really cool. I like it. They're nice bikes.
Well, you know, at the end of the bike ride, you know, the ride for Briana, with the police on the road checking everything, I said, is going to be more police over there? He said, are we going to do that show? You know, that was stressful. You know, and then we started going the property one by one, and there was some police over there, but they let us go in, and I just got off my bike and I just went in the entrance and I watched till the last biker came in. And you know what? When the last biker came in, I said, it might happen. And then I heard Eddie's voice on the mic, and he just started showing. So I ran to the stage. I wouldn't miss it. And all the stress we had, I didn't realize it. But when the music started, it just relieved me from, you know, all the stress we went through from the last 2-3 months, you know, to prepare that thing, and with uncertain ending all the time, you know. And till the last minute, we didn't know if we were gonna make it. I was standing there, and I look at Eddie, and I look at everyone there, and I started crying, you know. I couldn't resist that, you know. I just started crying. So to me, the best way to describe Eddie is to refer it to me as Jimi Hendrix of today. This guy plays with the feeling. You know, the feeling, and you can. It's rare to be able to express all that feeling into the music, and he's got that gift from God.
the night. When I ride through the darkness, I always found my light. Your spells will keep me safe through the night. Freedom, freedom, freedom. When I ride my bike, freedom, freedom, freedom. When I ride my bike, maybe you can call me crazy, maybe you can say I'm nuts. Your wisdom will guide me through the darkness of the night. Sometimes I feel crazy, sometimes I feel alright. My bike will lead me through this night. Freedom, freedom, freedom. When I ride my bike, freedom, freedom, freedom. When I ride my bike, black doors, they have no locks. Your spells will never keep me in a black box. Yeah.